I believe that we are streaming again correctly this time. Hooray! That time seems to work. Cool. Well, I guess now we're actually streaming. Let me send out a tweet about that. Oi. Okay, well that's cool. So that's a thing. I don't know what happened there. I'm quite upset that it happened though. So yeah. Well, let's get back on topic, I guess. Let's go ahead and clear this error. Let's come over here to our dictionary and let's hit update. Cool. We got another thing. We got an invalid cast exception, which I'm assuming is from our word. Oh, oh right. I don't need to do this anymore, so we can just do all this fun stuff. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and compile that real quick. While that's happening, I'm going to take a drink. And once that's finished compiling, we should hopefully be able to actually update all of our dictionaries. I am curious. You know, I bet obscenities and homages and all that stuff will well, homages will be fine. So cross promotion and thesaurus. I think the big question is if obscenities will work, and I think that it will. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and hit update again. All right, we got through 3 words. Cool. And we got stopped at a null reference exception. Now that's interesting. Joint word type of what exactly? So, looking at our dictionary, that didn't work. This is what I'm looking at. Let's go ahead and move this all the way up to the top. So we got to what? How far did we get? We got 3 things in, right? A, about, and activate. Wrong thing. A, about, and activate. And we stopped dead cold when we got to what? Joint word type, which is here. And it was null? Huh. Oh, because it's an array. Except it's never an array, I don't think. Is it? Has pair, uses direction, has pair. I mean, I guess I can make it one. Uses direction, has pair, has pair, has pair, has pair, has pair, has pair. I mean, I feel like that's an exclusive thing. Let me peek this. Except I guess it's not because I made it a bit mask. So it could be has pair and uses direction. Alright, I could see that. So all we gotta do there is just do JA underscore. Oh man, of course. Let's resize that column a little bit. Just 160. There we go. Okay. That also means we need to do that for obscenities, which I probably shouldn't show. Because obscenities. And the children. Think of the children. JA underscore. Let's resize that column to 160. All right. Let's try re-exporting that. Okay, so we're going to need to go to here, download this dictionary. And for the curious, this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. Probably shouldn't scroll down too far because that'll get back to the obscenities. So yeah, it's a pretty dense file, but that's because it's all word information. There's a lot of data that I need for words in TextQuest. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that. Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna update. Ooh, so close. Let's clear this. I actually don't think. There we go. Let's clear that. All right, so close. We got to word type. Oh, wait. That's why. Okay, yeah. So we failed at the obscenities part because I didn't make word type a JSON array, which I need to. Joint words also should probably be, yep. Okay, there we go. Let's re-export that. Last time. Pretty sure we have all the right values this time. Ah, frack. Okay, replace that file, destination. Let's clear this. Let's clear that. Boom! Okay, we got through most of it before we got to an homage problem. Key output. Oh, that makes sense. Close. Homages. Output needs to be an array. Okay, JA underscore. Let's go for cross promotion. I'm kind of curious if that's going to break. So homages versus cross promotion. Yeah, why not? Okay, now I'm reasonably certain. Reasonably. He said reasonably. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Download this. Show that. Replace this. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and clear that. And let's just clear this real quick and hit update. All right. All of the words that we have. Oh, that's right. I normally log the newest, like the amount of words that I've added, or the new words that were added, but since I cleared it before I did so, it just had a bunch of them. All right, there we go. So looks like we had about what? I think we had 710-ish words before, so we've added about 15 new words. Homages, I think, are about the same, and so is the thesaurus. Out of curiosity, let's go ahead and say, let's look for at. This is one of the problems that I do have with the serialization in Unity. It might be a little hard to see on stream, but it is really chugging. When I try to scroll, you can kind of see how it doesn't scroll very smoothly. It kind of scrolls in chunks. That's because I have 725 serialized values here, and that's all of them collapsed. Imagine if they were open. It would probably actually chug way too much for me to show you. So this is a preposition type, synonyms. We don't have any of those. Prep type after, that is correct. You throw something at something, which implies that the preposition is pointing to the thing behind it. Cool, so that all seems to work. So let's go ahead and I'm going to collapse this so that it doesn't just cause everything to chug. Okay, so that's all working. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. I probably... Oh man, I really want to do some custom inspector stuff to make this much easier on me. But I won't, even though I feel like I should. Oh man, that would just be such a nightmare. I would like to actually have the words be subdivided in alphabetical categories, so it'd be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then I could open up the individual ones to search for what I'm looking for, and that would probably cut down on the serialization problem, because then it would go from however many words I have to just 26. That's how many letters. Well, 26 plus probably like special, so 27. And yeah, so those are different things though. Looks like everything else is working here. Toggle no clip. That's the one I use the most. So okay, that should be the dictionary update, which is nice. Next, let's go ahead and look at some ASCII animation. Specifically, we're gonna open this up. Oh yeah, I have those still up there. This is what the king's ASCII avatar looks like if I leave or if I overlap them and change their colors. So this is the standard profile. I didn't actually get this animation into the current demo. This is something I was experimenting with, but I added like a head shake animation, which would basically be, oh man, I went through like all the wrong ways. So you'd like shake his head left, then it'd be in the center, and then he would shake his head right, and then he would be back in the center like that. I don't have any particular use for that right now, but it is something that I would like to do. Just have little bits of animation for the characters. In any case, let's go ahead and just say revert here. We're going to open up this root. I guess I don't actually need to do that, so I can get rid of this unconscious view. Let's go ahead and select this. So if you watched the Devstream on Thursday, you'll know that I tried to be super fancy and do a bunch of stuff in Update, which you can see that I did here in the avatar label, which is the ASCII art stuff, which I will probably rename to like ASCII avatar label instead of unconscious avatar label, because that's just a dumb name. So this is currently handling everything in Update, just like one big update loop. And it basically detects if it's blinking, if it should be opening its eyes, what have you. And I don't really want that to be the case. So, excuse me. Probably what I will do is I will still retain an update loop, but it will be much more simplified than this. It's basically going to just control blinking and talking. And I will wrap that in a bool check that basically says if we're not specifically doing an action, then do this. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and add some coroutines. I don't think I have, yeah. So we're going to say using system.collections. Nope, not generic, just collections. Cool. We are also going to need to add a new field here, which is, you can see that we have all sorts of text here, which I'm actually not reasonably sure I'm using that. I shut text and I open text. I guess I do have that. So I have blinking animation, which is basically 2 zeros for open eyes, 2 equal signs for partially open eyes, and then 2 minus signs or 2 hyphens for closed. And then it goes back to being open. And that's a blink animation. An eye opening animation is basically half of that, where we start with eyes closed, eyes partially open, eyes open. Now we need to do the opposite. We want to have an eyes closing texts. So closing texts. I probably should rename this ASCII. So let's go ahead and before I do that, because it makes sense, we're going to use some serialization here. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and say formerly up. Right. We're going to come up here and I'm going to be lazy for a bit and say using Unity engine dot serialization. If you're working on if you're refactoring scripts that you've had for a while and you want to update script or variable names, if you do that, any field references or values that are in those fields will be blown away. But you can use an attribute from Unity called formerly serialized as, and then you give it a string name. In this case, I would give it profile label because I want to change that to like head label. Let's rename this to head label. Okay, and now that it has this attribute over it, which is formerly serialized as, and that's found in Unity engine.serialization, even though this variable name is different from what I had before, what it's going to do is it's going to say, oh, it was formerly serialized as this, let's check that serialized value, and then just like plop that into this. So that's a very useful thing if you're renaming variables and you don't want to lose your data. If you're not worried about data loss, obviously you don't have to do this formally serialized as, but it's very good if you're working with other people who might be developing systems or working on things and you want to change that. Excuse me, I needed a drink. Okay. So next thing we need to do is we need to go down to open text. So I'm going to go ahead and say formerly serialized as, and we're just going to paste this over all the things that I want to change real quick. Pretty much anything that says texts, I'm going to change to ASCII because that really does feel better. Okay. So let's go ahead and say eyes open text. Boop. I shut text. Boop. Let's rename this to ASCII. ASCII. And then this will not automatically save all of your data. By the way, in order to actually, why am I doing that? In order to actually update the data, you have to look at it in the inspector. So if I almost did that wrong. So if I don't go and look at my avatar label after this, it would be fine as long as I keep formally serialized as in there, but if I want to get rid of that because it's kind of clutter and I don't think I need it after I update this one label, then I need to make sure that I actually look at my avatar label in the inspector. Otherwise, it won't update properly, which is obviously a problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and rename this. ASCII. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to change text shown when the avatar closes its eyes. Oh, this is brand new, so I don't actually need you anywhere. And we basically just want to reverse these. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. Boop. And boop. All right. So let's go ahead, and we're going to say yada, yada, yada. Go ahead and let that compile. And then this is the label that we're looking at. Everything should be fine for the most part, but you'll now see that it changes to eye blinking ASCII, eye opening ASCII, and such. But it should retain all the values. Shazam. Abracadabra. Man, I hate compilation times. Okay, So there we go. You can see that everything's in there. Our iClosing ASCII is the opposite of iOpening ASCII. The reason that I made these separate, by the way, instead of just reversing the order of iOpening, is that I could conceivably have a unique iClosing animation. So might as well. It's all just strings anyway. So it looks like we have the ASCII figured out for this. So, all right, cool. The next thing that we want to do is, and yeah, you can see that our head label retained its reference here. So we need to set up our unconscious avatar label to use coroutines. And now I can also go ahead and hit save after clicking off of that. That should save the avatar prefab values. And now I can get rid of all of these unnecessary formally serialized as. Haha! Because that's the only label that I have so far. So there's no reason for me to worry about anything else. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. You might think that that was a lot of effort for something that was pretty mundane, or inane, I guess would be a better way of saying that. But I tend to get obsessive about things like that, so, and I don't like having clutter when I don't need it anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna say, first things first, I'm gonna add a bool called we're gonna say private bool is, basically I want this bool to represent when I'm doing a specific animation. I guess I could just say is animating. So is animating is equal to false. Then I can come back down here to my update loop, and then I can just wrap all of this with if not is animating. Because if I am animating, then I'm doing a specific animation that I have manually triggered, and I do not want to deal with anything. I don't have to worry about anything. Okay, so if we are going to switch to a coroutine based workflow, I need to have coroutines for pretty much every action. I don't have to do it for start talking and stop talking, fortunately, because the update loop will take care of that. I do need to do it for open and shut eyes, though. So we're going to go ahead and say private bool iEnumerator. We're going to say eyes coroutine. That's pretty terrible, but I guess it's fine. Yeah, okay. So we're going to say eyes coroutine. We're going to take a string array, keyframes. So we're going to say is animating is equal to true, is animating is equal to false at the end here. And then in the middle, we're just going to say, we're going to do a fairly standard while loop, I think. So we're going to say int index is equal to 0, while index is less than keyframes dot length. Okay, we're going to say float t is equal to 0f, I guess, except I could probably just declare that out here and save on memory. Float t is equal to 0f. I will say t is equal to 0f here, and then we'll say while t is less than animation fps, t plus equals time dot delta time, and then we're going to say that's fine, I guess. Okay, and then we're going to yield return null, and then we're just going to go ahead and say index plus plus. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say iLabel.text is equal to keyframes of index. I'm just going to leave that there. And then at the bottom here, we're going to say iLabel.text is equal to keyframes of keyframes. Oops, not that. Keyframes.length -1. Okay. That should handle opening and closing, which means that I don't really need this anymore. So this is going to be a little awkward, but okay. And oof. think. Let me think. Um, hmm. I'm basically trying to think through how I want to handle this. Because I don't want to stop animations that are going on if they are going on. So, for example, if I want to close my eyes and I'm in the middle of a blink, it might be better for me to wait for that blink to complete than it would be for me to just kind of blast through it and force it to do the keyframing that I want, because that would potentially cause keyframe snapping, where like his eyes might be closed, and instead of getting that in between frame of the equal signs, we might go from like two hyphens straight to two zeros, which is subtle, but you know it's still a thing. Um, so, all right. Um, so I suppose we could get rid of this, and then we'll say start coroutine, eyes coroutine, and then eyes eye open. Opening ASCII is what we want. Yeah. Let's go ahead and copy this. We're going to paste this down. This is going to be eye closing ASCII. Okay. Pretty simple. That should pretty much do everything that we want. So let's go ahead and say find all references here. I'm going to shut eyes. I think I need to change my update patterns here a bit. So if we're talking, then we want to do that. Otherwise, we want to do this, which is fine. If is blinking, then we want to do this basically. Like this is the chunk we need to save. And this chunk we can kind of get rid of. So I guess I'm going to basically move this to here. And then I'm going to say this. I think we need to come up to here real quick. So has opened eyes, are we using that? Why on earth do we care about that? Unconscious view, we have to wait for that. Okay, cool. So we do need that then. Is opening eyes, do we need that? No. Cool, so we can get rid of you. And then we do need is talking is blinking, has opened eyes is important. So I suppose we want to, let's check these real quick, make sure I'm using these. Find all reference, find all reference. Okay, I'm pretty sure I am. Nice, okay. So the only thing that I really need to do is I need to add private bool can blink is equal to false. So I'm going to come over to here, and we're going to say bool can blink after. We're going to say, oh, yeah, that's fine. So this is going to be for shut eyes, we're going to say false, and for open eyes, we're going to say, excuse me, true. And then at the bottom here, we're going to say can blink is equal to can blink after. So we're going to wrap all of this with if can blink. Okay. Oh man, that is probably problematic as well. To do if can blink is set, need to set blink index accordingly. I'm a little worried that once we become able to blink again, it'll like snap to an incorrect position, but we might be fine there. So, all right, that should. Ooh, really? Oh man. Ah man. I waited too long. It compiled, and now I have to wait for it to finish compiling before I can fix that line ending problem. I hate line ending problems. They're so vexing. All right, let's go ahead and open up that real quick. I really wish that there weren't just random line endings. I don't like that Mac and Windows just arbitrarily decide to have different line ending formats, and that just causes problems with my Visual Studio files, which is very annoying. That's the downside to taking a Mac laptop to conventions, because obviously my rig at home is a pretty beefy Windows computer, but I take a Mac laptop with me to conventions as a reminder that one, there are people that have MacBooks, and two, I need to have performance in mind, so I have to make sure that my game can run at a decent frame rate and a decent resolution on my laptop. And since it's a Mac, that means that its hardware is pretty criminally underpowered. Um, all right, so let's go ahead and run in. We're going to test out the avatar ASCII animations, make sure that they actually look correct. In theory, things should be pretty much the same as what you've seen before. It's just that now we're going to have a little bit more control over when the eyes shut. So let's go ahead and we're going to say start. Wow, you faded in way too early. It should not fade in until all of those substances are built, which is not great. Although it is kind of funny because you can see everything pop in. All right, let's go to load. Okay, so I can't continue. Let's just do a new game. Okay. Okay, let's go through here. I can't tell if. That's interesting. I don't hear anything. Oh, right. That's probably why. I didn't reset my Unity instance before the Devstream like I normally do, so it's still playing audio through my speakers, which I'll hear now probably. Yep. That's why I couldn't hear anything. Although that is super weird. Hold on. So I hear that through my speaker or through my headphones, but the door opening and closing I do not. Huh. So I'm getting like half of the audio piped through this and half of it not. I'm assuming actually, I'm actually guessing that the reason that I hear this, that particular click is because that's played through Fmod, not Unity's audio system directly. So Unity is in a cache state with this, but Fmod initializes properly. So that's interesting. Hmm. Okay. So we got all of this. We got the wizard forming. I really should add a command. Yep. So Fmod sounds I do hear. Except I thought I made the fire Fmod sounds. Maybe I didn't. Oh. Anyway, I probably should add a debug command to basically double, or to speed up the time scale to whatever I want. Just because that would help get through cutscenes much faster. Okay. So here we are. Shoot. A null reference exception? Interesting. Did you not save? Am I going to have to redo all of that? Let's go to unconscious view, root. Oh, man. What the heck? I deliberately looked at you and saved it, and you did nothing. Why do you defy me? Well, fortunately, I don't have any differences in my ASCII animations. Um, they're all set up already. They're all hard-coded. Um, Still, though, that's dumb. Okay, whatever. Maybe you have to close Unity. Maybe it's not just looking at it. Well, that was bad advice from me, so I apologize. That's quite vexing, though. I wonder why. Even though I deliberately looked at it, clicked off of it, clicked back on it, saved, and ran, it still did not do everything. All right, well, whatever. Let's go ahead and just continue. Gonna take a second for it to load in all the textures, but that should pop us right back at the beginning of the level, so we can just kind of zoom through. I probably should make that more interesting than just saying loading. It is so weird hearing half of my audio come through my headphones and the other half come through my speakers. Also, I think I need to change this cutscene just a little. Well, I don't think I know I need to change this cutscene a little bit. I need to make the animations on the characters fit a little bit, or feel a little bit more cartoonish in the sense that I need to handle squash and stretch a bit. Watch the king when he jumps up. You'll notice that he's pretty rigid when he lands on the candelabra to the right there. He just kind of sticks there. The reason there's a weird hold there for a frame is because I actually wanted to have him squish a little bit to show him kind of like landing on the candelabra and crouching down before springing back up to jump. And then we would have the candelabra probably fling over from that as well. Although actually it's a little hard to see because of the purple lighting behind it, which is not great. Oops. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to set the is has opened value. So let's go over here. I forgot to set has opened eyes, which I guess means that do I need to do a friggin' callback to this? Gross. Cool, fine. Let's do that. So system.action callback equals null. And then at the very bottom here, I'm going to say if callback does not equal null, callback.invoke. And then I can just come up to here, and then I can add delegate. Has opened eyes equals true. All right. Let's let that compile. Also, I probably should throw up coding because we are doing coding today. I do that an hour into the Devstream because, of course, I do. I like to keep people on their toes. And while that's compiling, I'm going to take a drink. Of course, I start talking as I start to drink. So assuming that this goes well and it basically does everything that we need to, the next thing we're going to take a look at is analytics, because I want to put in a couple of analytic calls for specific actions that the user or that players do. So, for example, I want to know how they get around the troll in the sewer. I'd like to know how long it takes people to get through the castle. So I'd probably have like a little timer that starts once you enter the castle or for the first time, and then have that get logged out once you actually go into the sewer for the first time. So let's go ahead and say continue, because that for the most part is going to be useful for me personally because it'll let me know how long people are taking to get through the castle, which I've experienced has shown me that it can be anywhere between 10 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how comfortable players are with text adventures. So more experienced players typically will, I don't want to say breeze through this, but they'll get through the castle pretty quickly, usually 10 to 15 minutes. Younger players or players with less experience in adventure or puzzle games will typically take 30-ish minutes, but not always. I do try to. The puzzles in the castle are meant to be fairly intuitive, so you don't have to be an expert to get through it. It's just that sometimes people have difficulty kind of wrapping their heads around um, adventure style interactions, and it just takes a little bit of time, I think, for them to kind of flip that switch. And once they do, they get through pretty quickly. Um, okay. Are you gonna blink? Dang it! Oh no, okay. Whew. That was just a very long, random amount of time for him not to be blinking. Okay. Okay. So here's the real moment of truth, which I did not mean for it to close his eyes while he was talking, but it worked out, I guess. Oh, what happened? So that was the keyframe snap that I was talking about, where his eyes were closed and then they snapped open. I'm not entirely sure why they stopped animating, though. That's kind of awkward. Stone on the king looks pretty good still. Okay, so do I tell his eyes to shut multiple times? I do. King Avatar, Petrify King coroutine. Okay, so frack. Okay, let's go to definition. I guess what I'll do here is I'm going to do a quick check. So I'm going to say if um, I label dot text does not equal eyes close. Hold on. I open ASCII. So this is what they look like on there. Oh, I shut is what I called it. Let's just. Well, mm, let's just call it what it. Let's get the naming conventions. Not open. Closed ASCII. Let's see. So this is I closed ASCII. Okay. Same thing with our open. So we're going to say if eyes label dot text does not equal I open ASCII. All right, so that should prevent that problem. So now it basically what will happen is it will not trigger an open animation if its eyes are already open. And likewise, it will not trigger a close eyes animation if its eyes are already closed. That should prevent any sort of breakage like that. Let's go ahead and let that compile. And we'll give it one more run through to make sure it looks right. Then we can move on to analytics. So, trying to think what else analytics-wise I really want to log. Getting around the trolls, how long to get through the castle, how long it takes to get through the sewer would probably be a good metric. There's a particular item that I want to know if people get. Actually, it would probably be good to know which items they pick up anyway. So, and of course, logging if they actually do finish the demo. And then we should be good. This is not great. What do you mean it's not a value of a given enum? I don't like it when you do that. That makes me nervous. Okay, so let's run through here. Again, we'll continue one more time, and then we should be good. So. So let's go ahead and say start, then continue. Okay, we're going to run through here. Trigger this one more time, and oh no, wall. I probably should actually also make the wall, well, all of the magic interactable, just because I've noticed a lot of people constantly try to do stuff to it. Oh, and I need to double check that I make the wall go away once the cutscene is over. I also want to try suicide rushing it. Okay, good. I've had some weird issues where if you're running when the wall touches you, the magic box will spawn incorrectly, which is not exactly great. And then you get this like weird distorted magic look to it. Okay, let's go through here. We get our fade in. We have our eyes open. Yeah, I really do need to do something about the animations. They're a little stiff. So I feel like I should probably update that. All right. So that looks good to me. We didn't have any frame popping in. Okay, it looks like the wall does go away. So cool. That is all that fun stuff. Go ahead and stop playing. And all right. Analytics. So this is where things are going to be interesting. I'm going to go to Level Manager. Let's open that up. So when I spawn items, I basically check to see if those items have been picked up. So when we do that, I can actually log when that item is collected. And let me go ahead and find all references, make sure I'm only doing this. I'm doing it in 2 places. Oh, it's because they're doing the same thing. That's fine. I'm basically, hold on. I'm basically just making sure that, let's see, session get bool, items spawning info. I don't want to log out these analytic events when you're collecting items that you have dropped in the scene. I only want to log them when a item that was placed in the scene by me was picked up. So I think we're good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. On menu load, chords. No, right there. Oh, yes, here we are. So okay, I unassigned that listener before I do this. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So let's go ahead and go over here to on spawn item collected. Um, and all we're going to go ahead and do is we are just going to say analytics manager dot create event and I guess we're going to call that let's go ahead and do item collected and then new analytics event. What does that take? A key and an object value. Okay. So the key is going to be ID and the value is going to be item dot ID. I guess that seems about right. But before I do anything there, I probably want to centralize these string values so that I can more easily control them. So let's go, let that compile. I'm curious. Okay. So I probably need to centralize this in a script somewhere. Excuse me. I just wanted to make sure that I did not do this in the editor. So let's go ahead and I'm going to, I guess, just go to, we don't need Sleepy Owl Soft right now. I want Text Quest. Let's collapse all of this. Let me close combat. We'll just add analytics here in the root. Analytics. Create, and we're going to call this analytics utility. Yes, I guess that's what I'm going to call it. Okay, let's open that up. All right, so this is going to be a static class. Get rid of this. Static. This is going to be in the text quest namespace. All right, so for this, we're going to go back to level manager. And I guess actually before we do that, let's drag that over to here. And we're just going to say public const string event underscore and then item taken is equal to this. We'll say item taken, and this is going to be event fired when an item placed in the scene by default is picked up by the player. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and save that. So I'm going to go ahead and do region events and region. There's a public const string event underscore. What do we want to call this one? Combat? Well, I guess it would be good to know combat starting versus combat resolving. Public const string event combat end is equal to that. Let's see. And after that, we're going to need region, not events, but parameters, I guess. So this is keys and region public const string item underscore ID is equal to ID, I guess, or interactive object ID. That's probably better. Okay, so we're going to change this to analytics utility dot that. That just makes, so having these in a centralized area makes it a little more cumbersome in code, but it means that I don't have to worry about mistyping a string, and all of my strings for this stuff will be in one location, which makes it much easier for me to handle these things. So let's see here. Time will probably be good. So I'm going to go ahead and like combat interactions. Okay. So we're going to say event fired. Let's just get rid of event. That's going to be on everything. Fired when the player starts combat. Fired when the player ends a combat session. Interactions. Combat. Say public const string combat state. Status maybe might be better. Okay. Ooh, should I have values? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm sure it's not fun hearing me constantly go, huh, but values and not endif and region. All right, so we're looking at let's see. So we want to say public const string combat Man, that kind of sucks. But I guess we'll say player victory is equal to victory public const string combat player loss is equal to defeat public const string combat special is equal to special. Okay. I'm trying to think what else we would have. Combat start, combat end. Oh, and we need a flee, of course. So let's go ahead and duplicate that. Player flee. Okay. I think that's a pretty good amount so far. Oh, wait, we still need the time stuff. Interactions, combat. I guess we'll go up here and we'll say behavior? Stats might be better. Stats. So let's go for public const string level. Do level start and level end? No, that's not particularly useful. Also, this is actually that's actually not useful at all. Only the castle level only in the castle level could I actually have a timer going to determine how long it takes for you to get through that. In the sewer level, you might go back up to the castle, so that's not actually useful to me. Level durations. That kind of sucks. Dang. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of a good way right now to automatically handle that. So we probably won't log player time spent in each level. Dang, that could have been particularly useful. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. So we have item taken as an event that's already being fired, so that's good. I'm pretty sure also I have this set up so that it will not, fire in the editor, so that's good. I don't think I have anything else right now that I want in there, so for now we'll not worry about the level timing, and instead we'll worry about, let's add one for, we're going to add analytics calls for the amount of words that they've typed at the end. So demo complete, actually. So demo complete is equal to demo, oops, capital D, demo complete. We'll do public const string word count is equal to terrible typing on my part. Word count, word count, public const string word, no, not word count, sentence count is equal to sentence count public const string treasure count is equal to treasure count. Okay. So for that, we will go ahead and say man, I guess, yeah, okay. So these are less events. Demo complete is, but this should actually go to keys. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So let's go real quick to. I think we're gonna need our demo end, so we can close some of this stuff. Get rid of you, level manager. Probably we can leave you for now. I'm assuming. On-spawn item collected. I don't really care about knowing. Oh, hello, Dusted. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Um, I don't really care about tracking where you drop items for now. It's not particularly a thing. It does get more complicated with treasure chests. Oh man, that gets way more complicated with chests. Of course it does. So I can effectively track two of the items, three of the items. Yeah, three of the items. Um, four of the items actually. But I can't track ones that are contained in the chest, which is a little disappointing. Um, difficulty. Difficulty actually would be a good one. Um, combat stats. Doing okay. Finally got an office chair and got rid of the folding chair I was using. That does sound nice. Office chairs are much better for working at a computer. Um, I am not a fan of doing computer work in fold out or just flat chairs. Like, you really need the office chair. You got to be able to roll around and kind of adjust and lean back, lean forward. It's all very nice, all very ergonomic. How am I doing today? I'm doing okay. Um, Currently getting analytics put into the demo build because we're in a pretty strong spot stability wise. So I would like to update the demo that I have on the website, and then I'm curious to see what analytics I have coming out of that. So let's go ahead and we are going to. Oh, right, stats. Um, should I have. Difficulty will just be whatever the difficulty is, so I don't need to worry about that. Um, all right, so let's go to demo end. I believe that is my script here. Yeah, demo end manager. Here we go. This is all we do. Okay. So in demo end, we can effectively, I guess we could do it in demo end screen. That would probably work. So if we go to definition here, well, nah, we can just do it there. And before I do anything else, I'm actually curious. Where am I calling it currently? Okay, I'm only doing analytics for unknown words currently. So that's cool. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna say Unity Analytics Manager dot create event, and then analytics utility dot demo complete, and then we have a bunch of new crap. What were they called? New analytics event. Yeah. So we're gonna say analytics utility dot difficulty followed by session dot difficulty. Okay. And we are going to have a lot of these things, so I'm actually going to go ahead and do some new lines here. So we're going to copy this. Let's go, comma. Armrests are good too. They are. They can actually be very fun when you're leaning back or when you're just trying to think of things. You can do the traditional hand pose, the hand pyramid. It's much easier with armrests. I think I finally got Jenkins set up to look for pull requests. Nice. So wait, it's looking for pull requests, not commits? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do comma, paste that in. Words, sentences, treasures. Okay. So word count, sentence count, treasure count. This is, I believe, what was it? Inventory dot get instant. Yep. Okay. Hold on. Peek this definition. It's all of that. And then session dot sentences typed, words typed. All right. Nice. It'll build branches, but it'll also build test your pull requests. That way we can know how it works. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So basically, before you pull anything in, you'll make a build to make sure it doesn't fail out, and then you'll pull it in if it succeeds. Okay, so with this, we now have we have an event going out when you complete the demo, and it will log the difficulty that you completed it on, the words that you typed, the sentences that you typed, and the amount of treasures that you collected. So that's good. Next, we're going to want to know. Oh, oh boy. Trying to think what else would be good. Oh, combat, obviously. So let's go to enemy. I believe we want this. Okay. Okay. So if we're going to start combat, then I want to go ahead and say Unity Analytics Manager dot create event, and then Analytics Utility. Oops. Analytics Utility dot combat start, and I guess we would probably want to show the enemy ID. So let's go ahead and say new analytics event, analytics utility. Did not type that right. Analytics utility dot. I'm gonna cheat for now and just say interactive object ID followed by enemy ID. Okay. So that should handle when we start combat. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. I guess I will also log the enemy ID when the combat finishes. So let's go right now to load combat scene. Go to definition here. This is the old one. Go to definition. So we need to go to current manager, go to definition. All right, so when we complete this, I'm assuming that we have specific events that we fire here, find all references. Okay. What is this even used for? It's only called in one particular spot. Cool. So I have to do it with all of these. Awesome. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go ahead and say this event combat end. We are going to end it with the enemy ID, so that'll be combat info.enemy. Yes. And then we will also need a new analytics event. Let's come down here. Yep, it's all animated, so all I have to do is make a project on GitHub. Nice. Yeah, we've been eyeballing Jenkins at work, but we haven't actually done anything with it yet. It would be interesting to set up. So I might actually ping you on Discord at some point and just be like, so how did you do this? Okay, so instead of the ID, we also want the status. So we're going to say combat status, and then we're going to go ahead and basically copy that. Paste that in, and this is going to be combat player victory. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just copy this. We're going to paste this here. Combat player loss. We're going to paste this here. And then combat special. Okay. So that lets me know if you won, loss, or special victory. Now we need flee, which will come down to here. And we're going to say combat flee. Oof. All of that. Okay. So that handles starting combat as well as resolving it. Now we get into, let's see, the specific things that I want to check for, I believe. So that is going to be I have to basically listen for a specific event on the troll. Well, two of them, basically. Okay. Yeah, that's not great. Not really sure what to do there. Oof. Yeah, that's really not great. Trying to think of a way that I could do this in the inspector, but it really sucks. Ah! All I can think of is something that involves reflection, which would work, but sucks. It's a big pain in the ass, but it's basically the only free CI solution. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true for free. So are you just using like Git at work, and then you're using Jenkins to tie into that? Because one of the things, well, I wonder if that'll actually even work with our workflow at work, because we're using Plastic, which is not Git based. It's its own file solution. So I guess the approaches could be similar, but I doubt that everything would port one to one, unfortunately. But I do appreciate it. At least being able to like send you a message and be like, so. I think that there is a plugin for Jenkins with Plastic, but like I said, we haven't really looked at it. We've just kind of eyeballed it and kind of poked at all the various things that we would need to do, but we haven't actually done those things. All right, so that's combat resolved. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. That's the demo over. So the next thing we would want is we're already getting it when you pick up items. I guess let's go to container real quick, which of course there's tons of things called containers. Level data, load container, whole container, interactive object, utility, container, container dots. Yes, there we go. Okay, so the default thing that we want is initial items. For each item ID and initial items, raw contents. Let's see. Don't exist in the save file, so they don't load it before. Pool manager.add item raw contents Set level container info. So that's problematic. I'm basically trying to figure out where I want to put the log to detect when the item has been picked up, but I only want to do that once. I don't need information once it's been put in the chest again. I just need it when it's been taken out for the first time. That's all I really care about. Let's see. Where would I want to do this? Okay. Set interactive objects. Close. Insert item. Remove item. Add item. On container item. Success. That's definitely not what I want. Set a nimbles. Wow. Am I even using this? I feel like I shouldn't be, but okay. Listener delay. Reset object. I got all the from JSON stuff. Let's real quick jump over to the castle scene. Oh, of course there are. We'll let that compile real quick. So we need to jump over to the castle scene so that I can see what I initially have in there. Because I'm reasonably sure that I do track which objects are actually part of the original items that are in there and which items are not. So, so once I have this, I could probably track. I don't really want to track when they enter and exit the level. That doesn't really give me useful information. I mean, I guess I could track when they enter it for the first time. Because then I would be able to tell, if players even got to the sewer. Um, Harumph. Okay. So let's go ahead and let me click over here. We're gonna jump over to not you. Castle. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna select the lid or the chest here. I'm gonna go to normal. Initial items. So initial items is what I care about. So initial items. Find all references. Am I doing anything with this? Cool, I'm not. Let's see, for each item in initial items. Initial items.count. New. Okay, so it's here, I guess. So, if it's not empty. Shoot, that won't work. This approach almost worked, but it would only work if you collected those items in the first instance of entering the scene. So if people went down to the sewers, then came back up and got the gem, I wouldn't really get any useful information. Dang it. I guess for now, it's not too much of a problem. It just kind of sucks. Dang. All right. Hmm. All right. Let's see here. I guess it's not terribly important that I know these things. It would just be nice. I can't really think of a fast way to refactor this. Because I would basically. So, oh, hold on. Let's see. Where is raw contents? What do I set here? There's going to be a lot of this, isn't it? Raw contents is equal to new. Hmm. Yeah, that doesn't really work. So where do we assign raw contents is the thing. We do it on start, and then we check again. Um, oh man, I just yeah, I don't have a good way of determining in raw contents if they are the original items or not. Um, I guess I could though. Well, oop, that's not what I wanted. Get rid of you. That nope, that would give me false positives. Um, Let me think. Um, let's see. So when I take it, cache inventory, don't remove, needs key, open, close, take is the thing that I want. Insert item, remove item, on content, item, success. So, insert item or listener delay. Uh-huh. Give me a second here. I think I might have a way I can do this. Basically, what I want to do is okay. Why are you even here? Basically, what I need to do is um, I need to have a list that is side by side with the items in a raw contents value. And that will be a list of bools, and the bools will basically be true if they are the initial items, and false if they are not. That is, I think, the best way for me to handle this. Um, it is not ideal, but it will work. Let's go to definition here. Public list. I can't even spell public. Public list bool. And we're going to call these default items is equal to new list items, blah, blah, blah. Contents we need to do from JSON. And then we're going to do oof, 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 oof. Ooh, that's not great. Okay, let's get rid of this. We're going to say JSON array original array is equal to JSON.contains key. Question mark. If so, we're going to do this. Otherwise, we're just going to return a new JSON array. Okay, and then I need to say if, well, okay. So I guess we're going to say if array, array, if original array dot count is equal to 0, then we're going to do something else. Else, we're going to do this. we'll say if it's greater than 0. All right, so if it's greater than 0, we're just going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than original array dot count I plus plus. And then we're just going to say this dot original or default items. Is that what I called it? I did. Oh man, I don't like that. Let's rename this to like content states. Ugh, gross. Contents are original. Let's see. True if the item is the original item spawned in the container. False if it was added by the player. I guess that's useful. So let's come down here. We're going to say, instead of no reason for me to use this here, I can just say contents are original dot add original array of I. Pretty straightforward there. Should cast it to a bool. Otherwise, we're basically going to loop through here, and we're going to say array instead of original array, and we're going to say false for now. That's the simplest solution there. Then to JSON, we need another JSON array, so JSON array. Man, I really need better naming conventions here. Original array, I guess. Original array equals new JSON array. For int I equals 0, I is less than. Contents are original dot count I plus plus. We're going to say original array dot add contents are original at I. Okay, and then at the end here, let's peek this. We're going to change this from initial items to items are original. Are original. Items are original. Terrible. Terrible names. I really do not like that. Let's go ahead and add that. We're going to add the original array and then container items are original. Blech. Okay, so that's that. That should get things working. And then when we come over to here, what we're going to basically do is we're going to say raw contents dot contents are original dot add true. Save that. Let's see where else we have this going. We do not care about this, but we do care. Hold on, let's go up to here. Add item, peak definition. Okay, so we add it, but we don't actually do anything with it. Really? Do I not? The system I can guarantee was thrown together. Except I know that I refactored this live on air, and I know that I was not happy with it then, and I am not happy with it now. As you can see by the fact that I'm getting components, which I hate doing. Let's see. So when exactly is this function called? Find all references. Insert item. Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. Um, okay, woof. Let's go over here. And I guess what we're going to do is we're going to say, um, oh boy. So we're going to say if raw contents does not equal null, then we're going to say if raw contents dot contents dot index of obj dot item. Oh man. As item. This is terrible. Dot item ID. And then we're going to say raw contents dot contents are original of this. So if that is the case, then we want to lock it. Bleh. Okay. So then we're going to go ahead and say, except, do we remove this? Peak definition. Contents dot remove item. Um, I'm crap basket. So I have to do it all again, basically. Bleh. Bleh. Okay. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and say Unity Analytics Manager dot create event, and then we want it to be analytics utility dot item taken. Okay, then new analytics event, analytics utility. Come on, analytics utility dot directive object ID followed by this whole thing again. Obj as item dot item ID. Okay. Why do I even have you? Seriously, why do I even have you? Okay. So that should create that event. Then when we remove it, we'll go to definition. Let's go to this peak contents. Oh man, this is just such a mess. Private list bool contents are original. It's a new bool. Go to definition. Contents. Remove at contents dot index of item. Terrible. Okay. And then we're going to find all references here. This is just awful. Contents.add, which is done insert, add, which is done with add item, find all references, which I'm pretty sure is actually done here. Yep. Cool. So we're going to have to go to this, and we're going to say bool is original And then we're going to say contents are original dot add is original. Okay. So this is going to be true. Why do I manually do it? That's terrible. Add item. Oh, man. Okay, so I need to redo this a bit. So I have to say for int I equals 0, I is less than raw contents dot count I plus plus, and we're pretty much just going to do this. Okay, you're gonna get mad. There. So now that has to be appended to. Oh wait, no. Okay. And then we get this fun thing. Raw contents dot contents are original of I. Okay, so now we can get rid of this. Oh man, what a mess. Correct message, contents, content IDs. Yep, we gotta fix some of this too. Go to definition. Hello, Josh. How are you doing today? All right, so we need to come down here and we need to say list bool contents are original. Get determines if the items in the container are the original, well, are the items that were originally placed in it before the player removed them. Terrible, terrible. So much that has to be done here. This is going to cause a daisy chain. I can already tell. So yeah, now it's going to say we don't have, oh, the add item thing that I got to fix too. Bool is original. And then we need to go down to here. So doing all right. Just making a compiler for a language I'm making. Ooh, Sam took the words right out of my mouth. What type of language are you working on? Are you doing a more high level one like Python? I'm assuming. I doubt you're going to do assembly, but you never know. I guess the better question there would be, what are you writing the language for? Like, what's your end goal for it to be done or to be used with? Okay, so I need to say contents are original. Contents. Public list bool contents are original. Get return contents are original. Okay, terrible. So that's going to be correct now. Find all references here. Pretty much anywhere where we add an item here, I need to add an item to the contents are original. Okay. Same thing for removing. Let's see. Okay, I'm pretty sure that that's good. Blech. Well, let's let that compile because there's going to be quite a few things using an error, or that'll have an error from that. Yep, container torch was one of them. Oh man. Yep. Mhm, mhm. Oh man, I gotta do it all over again. Gross. Disgusting. There must be a better way of doing this. I really don't want to have to deal with this. Contents are original. I'm very uncomfortable doing this right before I make a build. Okay, let's see. The add item thing is pretty simple. Insert item, remove item, add item. Bool is original. Okay, that's going to cause all these things to freak out. And then we're going to need to have contents. Where the frig are you? Got a definition. Here. Private list bool. Contents are original is equal to new, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and save that. And for this, because it's the initial one, we're going to say true. Raw contents dot contents are original dot add true. Okay, this is going to be add. Oh man, the for each loop again. Okay, so we're going to say for int I equals 0. I is less than this dot count I plus plus raw contents dot contents original of I, and then raw contents of I, and then raw contents of I. Okay, go ahead and come down here. This is going to be load contents. Okay. It's interesting why load contents is. Anyway, let's see. High level, I'm using GNU, Python, and Flex. I don't have a Linux build on my website, but I am about to update all of the builds on the website. That's why we're going through and doing this incredibly torturous thing. Um, so by the end of this weekend, I am hoping to have new demo builds up on the website. And since you mentioned it, I will put Linux builds up on the website, and I will hopefully they will work. I do not currently have Linux installed on my machine, so or on any of my machines, so it'll be a little tedious for a bit there. So we're gonna have to do this into a for loop. Do I really need to though? That won't work. So actually, this will be true. Raw contents dot contents are original dot add true. Otherwise, this will be the for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than dot count I plus plus. We're going to do this of I contents are original of I. Okay. That should be all of that, I believe. Oh, except, no, not yet. I need to say contents dot remove at contents dot index of item. Okay, let's find all references here. Contents dot add. Oh, not contents. Contents are original. Are original. Dot add is original. Okay. references here real quick. Add contents as add false. I don't actually know if I did that on this container. I think that's an insert item. Insert item. Okay, good. Remove. Okay, add item. Okay. Okay. Oh, another one. Oh, right. I didn't actually put the container in there. So we're going to say public list bool contents are original. Get return contents are original. Lowercase c, so we don't get a Stack Overflow. All right, let's let that compile. Okay. And with that, I will probably do a quick run through. So I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm just going to play directly into the castle because I want to make sure that that chest loads in correctly. Since I just messed with all that, it should be fine. Once we confirm that it does, I'm going to go back to the start screen, do a complete run with analytics turned on in the editor, and then we're going to go ahead and that'll probably be it for the day. The reason I'm going to do a run and then end is because analytics in Unity takes anywhere from a couple of minutes to like a couple of hours to really show up. So I don't need to take that yet. Although I guess I could just to see. I'm just gonna no clip through this wall because this is the moment of truth here. Nice. Cool. So that's hilarious. The culling that happened there. Oh, but only if you're like in a very particular spot. That's really funny. Okay. So that seems to work. So I'm going to go ahead and stop playing. I'm going to clear this. We are going to go back to the start level. So we're going to go to splash fade. And then I am going to turn on, well, I'm not going to turn on analytics right now. I'm going to play, then turn on analytics. And then that way I don't forget that it's on, or accidentally leave it on. And then I will run through. Okay, so let's pause this real quick. Analytics Manager. I'm going to track in the editor. Okay. We're going to do new game. Okay. See how long this takes. Let's take all of the items that we can. Oh, what just happened? Cool. Really? Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, I think I know why that happened. Frickin' ridiculous. So enums must not be allowed. I bet that it has to be a string. Bleh. Fine. Okay, so let's find all references here. Let's see. So enemy ID, I guess, will be dot to string. How annoying. Item ID dot to. Oh shoot, no, that's dot name. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Demo complete. Event item taken. This is going to be item dot. Oh, that was also actually something that should be item ID and dot name. Oh, that's probably why. It's probably because when I was sending item ID, it's not an enum. It's so I bet actually enums are fine. The problem was I was sending a data class, which couldn't easily be converted. So that was my fault. Okay, combat end. Combat end. That is all fine. Word combat end. Okay, I think we're good. So let's try that again. So I think what my plan is, by the way, for these new builds, I will probably uh, I will probably make builds tomorrow, and then I will post them on the Discord, and then I will just kind of say like, here's the Windows build, here's the Mac build, here's the Linux build. If people want to hammer on that, that would be great. Let me know of any bugs that you run into, and if I don't hear anything on like in a couple of days, I will upload them to the website. So let's go ahead and clear this. I'm going to turn off maximize on play. Heading out. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. Like I said, I'll post the builds over on Discord for people that want to give them a quick playtest. I'll try to run through them as much as I can myself, and then I will post all those builds. So I'll have at that point I'll have a Mac, PC, and Linux build on the website. So we're gonna do a new game. Chris, yes. Normal, right green, yes, yes. Okay, let's run through here. Take. Okay, that seems to have worked. So it would probably be good for me to actually also log when people ask for hints. Now that I'm thinking about it. So I should probably put that in. We're already logging words when people type words that it doesn't understand. But I do think, just let me test real quick actually. Yeah, so it does run in the background now. I think that build is just, it predates when I did that. But yeah, we don't log keystrokes, obviously, but we do log any words that they type that that the parser doesn't understand. So let's get through this. Okay. Oh, really? No, we got to fix that. So So if you right click to close this, the input menu, it'll auto move at the same time. It shouldn't do that. So let's go ahead and say take. Take everything that I can. Open. Pull. I don't have the troll scenes set up yet. That's fine. We'll get into combat, run away, and then just go past the troll, and then complete it to see what gets logged. Oh, I should also log if people get eaten by the Gru. Okay, come back over here. We're going to say hit. And then I'm going to immediately run away. Run through. Oh, right. Just gonna no clip to solve all this. Oh, crap. Well, that did not do what I want. I forgot I turned off the demo. So, well, that should still give me valid results. All right. So that didn't, unfortunately, let me see the end, but it does at least let me double check combat values and if items were picked up for both the sewer and the castle. Let's see. Thinking what else we did. So we should be able to see if items in chests got detected or not. We'll see. So I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the day. So analytics-wise, it actually is a little important if you're planning on putting analytics in, apparently to structure things a little bit better for the sense of, to get a good sense of what you actually want to have analytics on. But for the most part, things seem to be looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Announcements. I don't really have anything particular in the immediate future, so we should be on schedule for Tuesday, streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, like always. And yeah. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.